Good morning and welcome. I'm Bob Pace, your host for a live stream of how to fight CPS and hang on to your children. I know that sounds awful, hang on to your children, but apparently there are CPS entities out there that have gone rogue and they're taking your children, whether they're in danger or not, and making it virtually impossible for you to do family reunification. That's a horrible thing that they want to take apart families. Not all of it's true. There are families that there is neglect and abuse that's going on, and they need to be addressed. But unfortunately, in my 17 months of talking on this live stream, twice a day, every week, every month, and every year, I encounter horrific stories of people that their children aren't in danger or taken and then abused in the system. Now, I mention I'm on every day. That's 7 days a week, twice a day. During the weekdays, I'm on in the morning from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's California time. And then in the evening, 7 days a week, I'm on at 7 o'clock at night. That's p.m. to 8 o'clock. That's Pacific Standard Time. And I've been doing that regularly, and I've formed a group of individuals that are 25 to 30 of you that come in regularly the morning and the evening. And it's great because you guys have developed a family with me. And I try to share you news and try to help you with your questions and your comments. This is an interactive podcast. And good morning, Cruel, who's also Felicia, who's from Ventura, California. Welcome. She's one of my regulars, and I appreciate you seeing here. Good day to you, Cruel, and what's the latest? Please text me what the latest is. Now, you found me on Facebook, and I'm glad you did. There are 7 rooms that connect here to the YouTube channel. We're broadcasting on a software app called StreamYard. And in this app, you can do a lot of things. Right now, just take notes and sit and listen. I also love to see emojis. That means smiley faces, hearts, thumbs up, and even send me stars. Please check below to follow me. I'd love to have you follow me, and please write reviews. Also, if you want to be notified when I'm on, hit the notification button, and it'll let them know that I'm on. I'll let them know I'm on. Okay, Felicia, I know you're still pending on that Supreme Court petition. I hope it goes well for you. And I know you get discouraged because you want to see your children, and I know how hard it is. But hang in there. It does take time to work through CPS. Margaret King, who's a longtime member of this room, has some great news. She had hired Vincent Davis, my attorney, and he got the criminal charges dropped from her yesterday. She was accused of grand theft, of taking some money, I guess, in her own home that a child had misplaced. But anyway, she still has a CPS case. It's a family member involved. A lot of these cases are sad that family members will bicker among themselves or try to use the CPS to alienate the children from the parents. Spouses will do that too, which is sad. You do not want to call CPS. It's a nightmare for you and your family. Now, that's sad to say that because we need CPS. CPS was mandated by Congress. and it was sent to the social services. That's where it's directed to. Tell them that they need to create a government entity that will protect their children from neglect and abuse. Now, there's many child protection systems in every county, in every state, in every country. This is a worldwide podcast, and I've contacted 21 countries have texted me or even called me. I've had Indonesia, Bangladesh, India, then up in the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, Libya, and then down to Africa. I've had Liberia, Sudan, Rwanda, Mozambique, several provinces in South Africa. Then up to Europe, I've had England, Scotland, and Wales, and Denmark and Sweden. Then across the pond in North America, I've had 4 provinces in Canada. I've had all the 51 states have texted or called in to me, and many of you from the same state. I've also had the District of Columbia. That was a really horrific targeting the mother who was raped twice while she was in the protection custody. Anyway, that was a horrible, horrible time. And then south of the border, I have Mexico. Then in South America, I have Grenada on the east coast, north of Brazil. Then across the South Pacific, I've had New Zealand, and then the land down under, Australia. And I've had 2 states in Australia. So that's quite a group of people. I'd say over 1,000 people I've talked to so far. They all have something in common like I did. They have a very terrible CPS case, and their children were taken from them when they were not in danger. And they did not know about my 5 rules. I did not know about my 5 rules until I learned them. I made a lot of mistakes when I first started getting approached by CPS. Anytime that you encounter CPS, that's a wake-up call for you to go to the internet and look up as much as you can about CPS and the CPS people that are targeting you. It's also a wake-up call to talk to an attorney, to get an attorney to represent you. And that is the hardest thing for most of you because of the low income. It is hard. Unfortunately for me, in 2010, I lost my job through no fault of my own. I was 60 years old at the time. I thought, I'd get a job. There'd be no problem. But it took time and time. And I still have not gotten a solid job. A job that I can count on, that be paid timely and paid for what I'm worth. And that's a hard thing because I think being involved in CPS has hurt my job searching. Also, the age I'm at, they don't like dinosaurs. I feel young, I look young, and I'm still active. But I know it's hard. It's really, 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 really hard. Cruel says, I can't believe it's been 6 months since I've seen my babies. And that is hard. You know, my daughter, who is 12, was taken from me. I've not seen her. She's 22. So I know where you're at, Cruel. Now, Cruel says, I went to my local courthouse a few days ago. Every person I talked to them wasn't able to help me. That's terrible. That's terrible. So didn't get much further there. I don't know. What help are you trying to get, Cruel? What help are you trying to get? Mrs. G still hasn't gotten back to my email. send her another email or call the law offices of Vincent W. Davis. 888-888-6582. 6582. That's 888-888-6582. Tell them that Bob Pace sent you and that you want to speak to Mrs. G, that you've written an email to her. All right? So you need to get a hold of her, okay? Don't give up. Keep doing that. Now, there are messages that are coming through my room now. It looks like the Facebook pages are loading for a change now, so we're getting them all in. There's important messages in each one, and there's also web links so that you can go there. Some of them are repeated twice, but that's okay. Just have to weed through them between the callers and the web pages. Now, that's an important number there, 888-888-6582, because you can also get guides and texts and books that Mr. Davis has put together for you to know how to fight CPS, how to get back your children, how to sue CPS. There's one really important book called the Guide for Grandparents, Step by Step for Guardianship of Your Grandchildren. It's $9.99. It's newly released, and there is a discount code. I have a discount code, capital P, capital A, capital C, capital E, 50. Use that discount code to get 50% off for that book. So that should help you out there. Now, Cruel says she was asking the courthouse if they have any of the forms I need to file, but I understand it's not their courthouse that I need to file. Oh, well, you don't need to go to a courthouse to get the forms. Every form you need to file is available online. Now, it's important when you do research online. It's the way how you place your wording. You want to start off by the city, the state, the letter CPS, and then type in what form you're looking for. You don't have to have the number of the form. You can just describe what the form is. Like you could just say Form 388, a 160 hearing, a 180. There's different things you can ask. You just ask for that and you can get it. And then you can print it out. And if you don't have a printer, you can go to Staples or FedEx and they'll make a copy. You can use your memory stick, stick it into your computer, and take the files with you. If you're only using your phone, you can stick a memory stick in the phone. There's adapters for it. There are adapters for it. Oh, boy. Good morning, Brandy Lee, and welcome. I tried to call you this morning, and I got your voicemail. Yes, Brandy from Wyoming. And I hope you're doing well. I was calling you if you had any further questions to ask me. Brandy Lee. Brandy Lee is on Facebook, so I'm going to put her message up for a second because the Facebook messages don't show up. Now, this is a Wednesday. This is a Wednesday morning, the 19th. And before I forget, I'd like to remind everybody tonight, my evening show will be early. Instead of at its normal time of 7 p.m., I'm going to broadcast at 3 p.m. That's 3 p.m. in the afternoon. I have a family commitment. So I won't be on it at 7. I'll be on at 3. That's okay, Brandy. I can call you again. That's no problem. You do have a question. What is your question, Brandy Lee? What is your question? Now, Brandy Lee's question is it a policy for CPS to put every case they work with on the criminal register? Yes, they do register. Here's how it happens. When a call comes in from a layperson or a mandated reporter, the professional person, the call is investigated and the CPS person will automatically think you're guilty. It's sad, but that's what they do. When they investigate, they also will call the county to get them a number so they can start collecting money. And it gets put onto the register then. And you got to be really careful because with that on your record, it makes getting a job, buying a home, or anything else a really tough time. CPS has ruined my record really bad. I had to quick sell my home to get Vincent Davis to hire him because I needed the money to fight to get my children back. I have 6 children that I've raised, and they're all doing well. 3 of them were my young children, and 2 of them are still living with me. 1 is my missing daughter, who I've not seen since 12. But I hear from my sons who meet with her occasionally that she's doing okay. I hear bits and pieces, but not all the details you want to hear. Not all the details you want to hear. I know that feeling, cruel. Your brain is blank. Yeah, I know that. It's a very emotional thing. Okay, good. You know what a 180 is. Well, all those forms you can get online. You don't have to go to the courthouse to get them. Well, I'm just saying it's a special kind of hearing, the 160, the 180, the 388. Those are different things that I know that Vincent Davis has used in defending his clients. Now, Brandy says, and it takes 7 years to get off. I work with children. My husband is in law enforcement. We are fighting it and getting a hearing. I'm so sorry it's all that happened to me. It's part of life, you know. We're on this thing called the circle of life. We start out helpless and we end up helpless. But through the circle of life, some of us have bigger circles and smaller circles. Also, I believe in God. And there are train tracks that we're on. On the left rail is the circle of life. But parallel to that left rail is the right rail, and that is the rail to heaven. And you got to really believe in God to get to heaven. Now, during the tracks as you're traveling, there are timbers that connect the two rails. Those really represent links, how God is important in your circle of life, and how you want to get to heaven, and how you want to enjoy your life. So I gave a little bit of analogy there, but having faith in God will help you in a CPS case. I've been fighting them for 15 years, and it's been a really hard one. 5 years in the beginning was nothing more than a harassment, where they alleged she accused me once a week, and it was done by my in-laws. They were the lay people. My wife's mother, father, 3 sisters, and brother would constantly call in and report things that weren't true. They weren't true. And after 5 years, they got frustrated, so they called the police and got the police to track me down and forced me to come to my home and forced me to open up my room, open up my house. And then they started investigating. They had a whole army of people meet me at my home. 3 social workers, 5 firemen, 2 code enforcement, and 2 uniformed policemen. Why does it take that many people? And a detective, 13 people to investigate my home. That's ridiculous. And on top of that, I gave away my children too easily. I have a rule, number 3. Do not speak to social workers. Do not speak to police. Do not allow them in your home. Do not give them permission to enter. If you hear a knocking on the door, don't answer the knock. You were taught early on that you do not talk to strangers. The police and the CPS workers are strangers, so you don't talk to them. You should have learned that life skill way long time ago when you're in preschool or preppy K or kindergarten or even the first grade. You should have learned that rule, that you don't talk to strangers. You keep quiet. They can bang all they want, but they won't get into your home. Now, if they leave a piece of paper after they're gone, read the paper. It may be a warrant. That's the only way they're going to be able to have to talk to you, to get in your home, to search it, or to take your children is with a warrant. It's a legal piece of document signed by a judge that gives special instructions of what the social worker or the police can do. The reason why police are with social workers is because of their safety, but social workers use them for intimidation, and the police do not know CPS laws. So they go along with the flow. It's very intimidating with the police there. So I know how you feel. It was intimidating for me to have a sheriff order me home when I said I had to go pick up my wife. He says, no, you're coming straight home. I should have said right then and there, either arrest me or give me a citation for a traffic violation. But I'm going to pick up my wife. I'm not going to go to my home. Furthermore, if you have a legal matter, I'm entitled to an attorney under my constitutional rights. All legal proceedings, you're entitled to an attorney representing you. You should never fight the law yourself. There's too much that they know and too much advantage they can take. So it's so important. My rule number 1 is hire an attorney. You need to get 3 quotes. You need to ask 2 important questions. And I'll get back to you. But an attorney is someone who's trained in juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. A criminal attorney won't help you. A court-appointed attorney won't help you. A public defender won't help you. I've been there. I know what that is. Thank you, Brandy. Appreciate the motivation. So I don't know. I tell people Fighting CPS is like open heart surgery. You're not going to fight, you're not going to do open heart surgery with a plumber or a nurse or uh, yourself. No, you're going to get a professional. Same thing goes for fighting CPS. They are not transparent. They'll swindle money. They will do retaliation. I know firsthand experience about retaliation. And they certainly won't help you with family reunification. Now, Brandy further says they did the same thing to us at 10 p.m. at night. Yep. Well, when you hear a door knocking at 10 p.m. at night, don't answer it. Don't answer it at all. You have your rights. They can only get into your home one of three ways. One, you or another family member opens the door and gives permission to enter. Two, there is domestic violence going on where someone's getting hurt like a child. If a child's screaming or you hear screaming and the child is being physically beaten up, then the police and the social worker will enter the home. He'll have to break the door down, but he'll enter the home under the presence. The third way is with a warrant. And that warrant, as I say, has to be very legit. That signature has got to be signed, a wet signature in ink by the judge. The courtroom clerk will emboss the signature with a stamp that raises the signature up so no one can forge it. The date on the form must be looked at closely because if it's on a holiday like a weekend or during the weekday there's a holiday, then it's not legitimate because they can't get a warrant on holidays. They love to use old warrants from other cases, flash in front of your face, not giving you time to read it. Furthermore, be careful there's not any corrections on the form, white it over or stuff like that, because they may have changed the date or whatever they did. Also, it's got to have specific instructions on it. It's got to be addressed to the people involved. If it's a husband, wife, their name's got to be on it. If there's children, the children will be listed. The allegations will be listed. And then there'll be specific instructions to what date they can come into the home, or what date they can take the child, or what date they can talk to you. It has to be specific instructions. That's what a legitimate warrant is. It can't be a PDF file on a computer. It's got to be handed to you, a regular piece of paper with a wet signature on it. So that's enough about warrants. Now, I do want to talk again to, you don't answer. There's no law that says you have to answer, Brandy. There's no law that says you have to. Too many people are shot by mistaken identity that the police are at the wrong home. There was a sheriff in Gainesville, Florida, that went to a home of a black airman, young fella in his 20s, on May 3rd of 2024, and shot him point blank in the chest 5 times, and he died talking to his fiancée on FaceTime. That was sad. That was really sad. Or the black lady in LA that was shot in the face 5 times and killed. Or the Korean lady that was shot by 2 policemen and killed. The list goes on and on. They're all because they opened the door, because they think they can trust the law. And that's sad. It really is sad there. Now, Felicia says she's got to go today. I have to call APS regarding my mom. I know you're trying to fight with your mom. Felicia also has a mom that needs assisted living, and Felicia's in heaven. I haven't heard from her in a while, and that could be with you all. Love, thank you very much, Felisa. We care about you. I pray for you that it'll get better. Okay, I want to say welcome, love. It's good to see you again. It's good to see you. Bob Pace, so much great information. Listen to the live YouTube. Thank goodness my case has been closed with CPS. Well, that is good. Love. You repeated the same thing. I think I have a bug in my system. It's repeating it. They never took my daughter. I listened to you live YouTube channel to inform myself should you ever again have to deal with CPS. Well, I'm glad, love. Can you refresh my memory and tell me where you're from? I have hired attorney Vincent's firm, and I know CPS attitude quickly changed once my kids were represented by Vincent's firm. You better believe it. Vincent has a whole slew of good attorneys. Brandy says, and start documenting everything right from the start. Yes, my rule number 2 is get a notebook, a thick notebook, as thick as you can, 3 inches, 4 inches, with 3 rings. Hole punch all your documents. Use a subject index and divide everything accordingly so you can find it. And one of the most important documents is called an incident time log. It's an incident that you want to track every incident that happens, whether it's by the police, the social workers, or whatnot. And that incident wants to use 3 lines per incident. The first line is the phone number, the location, the date and the time, and the people you talk to go on the first line. The next line is a summary of what the incident was about. The third line is the outcome, a summary of the outcome of what happened with the incident. If you don't know if you're not done with the incident, then leave it blank and come back in later. Skip a couple lines, put your next incident, and so forth. Use highlighters to mark things up. Yellow's a really good one to use. And you can highlight, all your documents. Put in there your course completion certificate, your program completion certificate, your results of your drug tests, anything to do with the medical issues or anything like that. That notebook should be something that'd be very useful. And you don't want to let anything escape the documentation because you won't remember everything 6 months from now or a year from now. So that's really important to do the documentation. So thank you for bringing that to my attention. That's my rule number 2. Margaret, good morning. And, sorry, I thought it was Margaret. No, I'm sorry. This is Yacinda, Mark Quinn. And I'm not sure if you've talked to me before or not. If you could please, let me put that message up there. Yeah, could you please, when you text a comment or a question about CPS, please show me your first name, your city or county, the state, and of course the country. Also tell me about your case. So I'll leave that on for a bit there. Okay, Yusena says CPS has her kids. Hello, Daniel Watt. It's so good to see you. I love an update about you, Daniel. I'm fine. I send you messages all the time. Danielle used to be one of my co-hosts, and she had a case where her son was kept from her after the age of 18 when he wanted to come home. And CPS is trying to get more money off the case. And Danielle was trying to get the son because he's a special needs child, like her brother is special needs, and so she takes care of her brother, and so she wanted to take care of her son by doing the adoption or getting the guardianship. I should say, get a guardianship. Yasmin says, I'm trying to get them. They aren't helping any reunification. They don't want to. They want money. I don't know where you're at. I appreciate if you could tell me your city or your county and your state. That would be great. Or if you're from another country, you can tell me also. Danielle says, I hope as well. Great to see you. I agree. It's very good to see you. Thank you, Danielle, for the sweet words. Thank you so much there. Yacenta, what if I can't afford an attorney? That's a common problem that most of us have. I couldn't afford an attorney when my case was on. I'd recently lost my job through no fault of my own. It was in 2010. It can't be recently because that's like 5 years ago, 4 years ago. Anyway, I was 60 at the time, and I had no income for an attorney. I was trying to pay my mortgage payments. I had over $5,000 in first and seconds and property tax, those kinds of things. So it was hard to come up. I mean, I had my savings. I was keeping my house afloat. But when my case got bad in 2015, and I tried at first to use a court-appointed attorney, which didn't work, and I tried to do pro se where I was trying to fight it myself, that didn't work. So then I found Mr. Davis, and I quick sold my home and got the money he asked for to get my kids back. And he tried his best. He got 2 of my 3 children back. The other child was a target because Mr. Davis had caught the social worker in committing perjury while under oath. She had lied, and she wanted to do retaliation. So she told us, the parents, she'll never see her daughter again. So she pushed our daughter at 12 at the time to emancipate from the family. That means divorce the mother, the father, her 3 brothers, her 2 sisters, her aunts and uncles, her grandparents, both sets of grandparents and cousins. She emancipated. She divorced us all. Then she was told to change her name, and she changed her name completely. First, middle, last name. And her last name was a beautiful last name, Hanalei. And then she was told to seal her birth certificate, no longer recognized by us as the parents. Got a new birth certificate and put the foster care parents as her parents. Then she got a second social security card and was stealing from Social Security because she already had a Social Security card, and they're regularly taking my money and paying the adopted foster care money $1,000 to supposedly help to take care of her. But the foster care parents were getting money too. So it was a terrible, terrible thing. Anyway, if Social Security knew that social services was doing that, some heads would roll because that's illegal, the double dip. And that's what my daughter was doing. She also was adopted by a foster care parents. And so she's no longer a child. It's so sad that CPS is so corrupt. And they did that. They did that as retaliation. They did that as retaliation. Now, to get an attorney, you may have to sell your home. You may have to get a credit line or a loan from a family member or something, but it's so important. If you're forced to use a public defender or a court-appointed attorney, it's going to be a hard battle. You need to tell them that you'll sue them for negligence if they don't perform. And you can call the state bar if they don't perform. You can register the state bar. Now, Brandy Lee says, I got a couple portable file boxes and they're packed full. Well, my case was over 3 feet tall when stand on end. So I know what you have, Brandy. I know what you have. Oh, I have to put that up. Danielle has some beautiful news. Her son finally has been, after 2 years or whatever years it's been, was taken from the Texas CPS and now with her mom in Georgia. I'm so happy for Danielle. Thank you for sharing that to me. God bless you, because you're a wonderful mom to take care of your son and your brother. You're taking care of 2 people. You're a wonderful caregiver. God bless you. Thank you for sharing that news, Danielle. There's some good news, and I just had to put it up there. And Brandy says, I'm so sorry they took your kids. Fight and don't give up. I agree. I've been doing this for 15 years. I'm fighting CPS through this live stream. I make phone calls now from 8 in the morning to 10 o'clock in the morning, and then from 11 o'clock in the morning to 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Phone calls are to potential new clients that want Vincent Davis to help retain them. So they have questions. So you can call me, if you want to be have Vincent Davis retained between 8 and 10 in the morning and 11 and 1. And so it's the same number that I post up there. And so what I need to do is put that number up there, because you guys can call in and talk to me live on the show at 626-698-0990. That's live on the show. You can talk to me. And I'll leave that number up there. Now, I did put a very important website link. That's stan.store/attorney VWD. That's where you can get his different consultation items he has for 30 minutes, for an hour, or even for a book of 5 hours. He has special rates. Keep in mind that Sand Store also has books and all about Vincent Davis. And you should also put in front of that Sand Store http:// and that'll get you there. So that's a valuable website. Another website is his webpage, and it's http:// vincentwdavis.com. vincentwdavis.com. So that should be really good. Also, if you call into my live stream, you're eligible for a free 15-minute private Zoom meeting conference call with Attorney Davis. You can ask him questions for 15 minutes. That's to call in, or to be a guest on my live stream. You can be a guest on my live stream. I can take 9 of you. All you have to do is write my show producer, Grace, at vincentwdavis.com, and send her that you want to be Bob's Saturday morning show, or Bob's Friday night show, or Bob's Wednesday morning show. So you identify what show you be on. She'll send you a link, and that link you could get on to StreamYard, and if you get bounced off, reuse that link again, because it's good for the show. So I'm telling you is that there are lots of ways you can speak to Mr. Davis for free. Now, another way that you can speak to Mr. Davis is for 30 minutes. I have a special rate, and I'll put that at the bottom of my screen. That's $60 if you go to that website. Good morning and welcome to my live stream. This is Bob Pace with Vincent W. Davis.
Hey, Bob, it's Danielle.
Hey, Danielle. Oh, I'm so glad you called in. So all these tests, every test was abnormal. What does that mean?
Well, when we got him home, and he was great, and he's been good, and I noticed his urine was like dark orange, like an orange color, but it had red in it, and he was drinking like a lot of fluid, and his urine and his drinking and eating was not normal. You know, it was like he was dehydrated. And then after like 2 days of him being home, I noticed his attitude and his whole demeanor changed. They didn't even send all his meds. Like, I think they did it spitefully, but they sent like the bare minimum of meds that, like, it was Benadryl and Risperidone and something else. And when he needed his other meds, because he takes like 4 or 5 pills, and the stuff that they sent home with him, totally. I mean, on Saturday night, he had like a mental breakdown, and he started hitting, and I know it was but he's doing way better now. That's when I got the labs done on him, and and observation, and for him to get evaluated so we can get him on the right stuff.
Well,
when I tell you, Bobby, he was not himself. He was not himself. Like he was someone that he just went hollow. Like he would have a blank stare, and it was just. He wasn't himself.
Yeah.
Definitely was not himself. Yeah, and it was just, and with him being away for this period of time, it sucks because he's never been away from, and I can tell he's changed. He's very traumatized and damaged from that place horribly. It's yeah.
Well, in time, it will get better because normalcy will kick in. And if you see what is happening, you may think of a civil lawsuit against the CPS firm because there's a lot of money that you could go against them because you document everything, all the results that you're taking and everything.
Well, and also, we've been asking for the paperwork, and they were supposed to have him home back in November of last year. I'm going to find out. Well, now so they discharged him, and it's like nobody's saying anything now, but they still are trying to be involved. And they're not touching my son. They're not getting near my son because come to find out, they held him out there when he was supposed to, like, against his will, pretty much. Like, they pretty much false imprisonment for a year, almost a year and a half. When there's forged documents, it's a lot, Bob. It's a lot. Like, they falsified a bunch of stuff. I mean, it's bad stuff. And,
and they know they can get away with it because no one's going to persecute them. No one's going to persecute them.
Well, shoot. They're not getting away with this. Oh,
well, that is good. That is good.
I mean,
Because what's happening is if they get away with that with you, they'll do this to somebody else. They need to be put to a stop.
And they have been. Yes. And I've noticed that the place that I'm dealing with, the county here in Georgia, they are starting to go more after the guardian, like the family, the kids that are with kinship or guardian, and it's horrible. Like I have people contacting me and they're like, Danielle, you got your son. What do we do? Help. And I'm like, why? I mean, listen to this, Bob. The guardian ad litem that was over my son for all this time, he just messaged about, I think it was a week ago, and said he's no longer over my son. He's no longer a part of the case. He was only over it when he was a minor. I said, excuse me? That was 2 years ago when he was a minor. So what's been going on the last 2 years? And you're now telling us this? So pretty much like we said, he's lost in the system. They banged off my son.
Yeah, that's sad. That's sad.
And Georgia went and communicated with Texas. Texas didn't really know what was going on, but they wasn't really, they just were housing him. But I'd have to say Texas did cooperate more with us than Georgia has, because we had to pay for our own plane ticket. That was and I mean it came through because one ticket for one of us was like $1,800 because they kept switching the dates on us.
Wow.
So I mean we had for my aunt we had to change her ticket 3 times. 3 times.
Wow.
And I was even having to pay each time to change it $250 something to change it.
Wow.
So it came out to be like, and then they didn't want to buy my son, but yet I'm still wondering how he got out there.
Well, what is the ICPC, the Interstate Compact for Placement of Children? What is that agency did with anything there? Did they help out at all?
Apparently, no, they didn't. But I thought if he's a minor, that they're supposed to have an ICPC request.
Well,
as long as
I think what happened was initially he was under the age of 18 when he's placed in ICPC, and then he was transferred to Texas. But when he became 18, I think the ICPC dropped out.
Yep.
And CPS kept going at it because they were getting the funds coming in.
Yeah, and then they won't even give his, they're trying to say that they sent his insurance information and his Social Security card and everything to us in an email. They even took, because you know how when a child turns 18 in foster care, they're supposed to get like a credit report and their whole case file or whatnot, a Social Security card, an ID, you know what I'm saying? Like an adult. Everything that my son was supposed to have, they are trying to, we've asked them for it. We said to make sure he had it, and they said, oh no, it's got to go to the caseworker first. Why? What? She can go through and hide stuff? Of course. Like, when I tell you, Bob, it's not over, and I'm telling you, but I can assure you that my son is safe, and he will never leave the state again. I promise you. They're not, and you'll never believe that probation has. Remember how I told you that they are the ones that are standing by me, and they have stuck to it, Bob.
Would you like to talk to Vincent Davis for free for 15 minutes?
Probably, yeah.
The reason why I'm bringing that up is that he can direct you how to do the lawsuit. You can tell him real quickly.
I know.
Have you talked to Vincent Davis before? Okay.
No.
I have a thing right now with my live stream that if anybody calls in and talks on the live stream, or anybody that is a guest on my live stream gets a free 15 minutes with Vincent Davis. All you have to do, Danielle, is text me your full name, your email, and your phone number. And I'll set it up with Grace, and Grace will make arrangements for you to talk to Vincent Davis.
Okay, that'd be cool if I can leave me in a.
Well, it's a valuable 15 minutes that Vincent Davis will help you. He will help you.
Yeah. Well, and after he was a minor, when he turned to an adult, they were still treating it like he was a minor, and that's they pretty much led us on a wild goose chase and played. I mean, we've already been through 3-4 caseworkers. I mean, and none of them knew anything, and it's ridiculous. Like what they put us through, and the games they want to play. And if they think that they're going to sit back and just and get away with it, no, this is traumatized. If they're doing it to my child, well, how many other kids are they doing it to?
I agree.
I
agree.
Right, and my son, he's not his normal self. He's usually laughing, goofing off with us.
Danielle, I just realized my time. Is almost it's 11 o'clock. I need to go, but thank you so much for calling in, and thank you all for listening. Thank you, Danielle from Georgia, love, and Lucas. I'm glad to meet you, and I'm sorry that I haven't got a chance to get Brandy Lee. Thank you for calling in, and also I want to thank Yacenta and who else here? Love. I think I got everybody. Oh, and Cruel. Thank you, Cruel. Thank you very, very much. God bless you all. And I want to tell you all to have a great day. I'm going to be on again at 3 o'clock. That's in a couple hours for my evening show, my evening live stream. That's at 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. God bless you all. And this is Bob Pace signing off. Keep fighting for your kids.